What's up YouTube, it's TCG here and welcome back to our TCG video on my channel. Today we're going to be reviewing 6 of the Mega Evolution cards that were already revealed for our upcoming set in September. So if you want to see the latest 3 prize Pokemon with my initial reaction, this is going to be a video for you. Hopefully you guys are excited. If you are, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Only takes 1 tiny second of our time and does help out the channel tremendously. And also let me know in the comment section what your favorite Mega Evolution Pokemon card is that was revealed right now. We're going to be starting off with the 2 new Mega Evolution Pokemon that were revealed, and we're going to be getting our way to the other ones. We're going to give some strategies, combinations, and yeah, some explanations about Mega Evolution in general. So, as you all know, Mega Evolution are 3 prize Pokemon. Instead of like the regular EX cards that give up 2 prize cards, these actually give up 3 prize cards when they're knocked out. So half of your prize cards. You know, games will go faster like that, and people have always stated that they don't like 3 prize Pokemon, but in specific formats they were pretty okay. I remember in the early days of, like, I would say the tag team era, I still had fun with some Pikarom left and right, so it can still be great formats all around, but it all comes down to how they will power creep these 3 prize Pokemon, because as you see here, this is a basic Pokemon, this Mega Mawile EX, and it has a whopping 270 HP. Will we reach the 400 HP threshold? Who knows? We'll figure it out in the upcoming sets, but typically the Pokemon company always releases a first hand of Mega Evolution Pokemon, and then they really make them stronger as the sets continue on. So let's dive into the new one here first, Mega Mawile EX. As you see here, 3 prize Pokemon, Metal type Pokemon, a 2 retreat cost, which is pretty okay because you can technically get free retreat with the Air Balloon and the Black Bolt and White Flare mini set. Also coming back with grass resistance, just as other metal type Pokemon before it, and being a weakness, having weakness to fire is not too bad at the moment, because like if you think about fire type Pokemon, like typically the things that come to mind aren't actually that good. You have like OHKO EX, the Armor Rouge box Pokemon out there, but typically fire type Pokemon are not around too much. You might be slapped by an Eaton's Typhlosion at one point, but that's about it. We come back with the Greedily Devour attack, 80 damage for each prize card you have taken. It does require you to have 2 energies, so you can technically slide this into a Metang deck to have energy acceleration and attack with it instantly. Could be a way we can see Mega Mawile work. I could also see this working out in something like the Archaludon EX, if you remember that one, if it evolves. It can actually accelerate with the Metal Alloy, 2 Metal type energies instantly from the discard pile to your Pokemon, meaning you can power this up in one go. And also with some Air Balloons left and right, you can also make sure your Archaludon then does not become stuck in the active position. So I can also see Mega Mawile working out with Archaludon as a one-off. I know this gives up 3 prizes, but this is pretty much used as a sweeper, right? So in the late game, when you have taken 4 prize cards, you're going to be able to slap 320 damage with ease. No downside whatsoever, just slap that damage and you're good to go. What has 320 HP, you might add, well, stuff like, for example, the Dragapult EX. You can also use this then to knock out Gardevoir EX in the late game as well. So it is a strong attack, but you need to be ahead in the prize trades in order for this to work out, because you want to use this as your late game sweeper. And also, as a fun fact, if you lead with this, you're going to be losing games, because this is a 3 prize Pokemon. Luckily, decks like Archaludon EX are playing cards like Turo, Professor Turo scenario, so you can put it back in hand. Sometimes those Archaludon decks are also playing Scoop Up Cyclone, so that could also work to get it back in hand. But starting with this will be horrendous. You want to use this in the late game to get, of course, those last couple of prize cards, or just a one-shot. It gets stronger the more prize cards you have taken. Now we have the Big Bite as well, slapping 260 damage output, but if your opponent has any damage counters on it, you're actually slapping 30 damage instead. So as soon as the opponent has damage on it, you're actually not going to be able to dish out enough damage with Big Bite. 260 is also a very weird number, by the way, because most Pokemon you want to one-shot. Think about Stage 1 EX Pokemon. For example, a Cerulege does have more HP than that. Think about Zoroark EX does have more HP than that. I know you can knock out like basic EXs out there. Think about Pheasantipity EX. Also other bench hitters out there, Teal Mask, Ogerpon EX. You can one-shot them with the Big Bite, but I see that there sometimes could be a problem where the damage output is not enough, because in decks you want to be using the Mega Mawile EX, you already have enough damage output. Thinking about the fact you can of course attack with the Archaludon as well, slapping 220, which is already enough to deal with the basic 2-price Pokemon out there. So the Big Bite, not too big of a fan of that, but the Greedily Devour could be good as a one-off Pokemon card to just clean up, right? Because Archaludon has a crippling weakness, is that its damage output is 220 and that's it. I know you can manipulate that with Munkidori and the Venture Bombs, Team Rocket's Venture Bombs out there, but that is not always the successful way. So this can be your sweeper in the late game, and maybe you have taken 5 prize cards, then you one-shot anything in the game. Not that it's necessary, because sometimes you're also playing Iron Bundle, but yeah, this is where I see Mega Mawile working. So either with Metang, or with the aforementioned Archaludon EX. You could also go crazy with like Energy Sticker and YOLO behavior, but that's not gonna be too crazy. Also, in that regard, because this is a basic Pokemon, you can technically splash it into your Ho-Oh EX deck, and as soon as you have like 2 of those rainbowish energies that is in the Black Bolt and White Flare mini set, you could also, I think it's Unit Energy or something, correct me if I'm wrong, could also get away with attacking with this Pokemon, but I personally would not use it there. Maybe yeah, a random Metang deck could become great, but yeah, 3-prize Pokemon, how do you feel about that, right? If this one gets knocked out, you give up half of your prize card, so be careful with that. But it's a basic Pokemon, so it's quite easy. Talking about more basic Pokemon, Mega Absol EX. This does not need to evolve from Absol, as you can see here, just the same like with Mawile. It is a basic Pokemon, so you can instantly slap it down and you're good to go. 280 HP, which is, yeah, it's gonna be the norm for a basic 3-prize Pokemon. Remember ADP, right? We have a 2 retreat cost over here, so again, Air Balloon is pretty great. Weakness to Grass is kind of bad, because there's still Teal Mask Ogerpon running around, Iron Leaves is in decks out there, Teal Mask Ogerpon also around, and giving up 3 prize cards doesn't seem great, right? I think decks like Goldango and Raging Bull will farm 3 prize Pokemon because they can get that number quite easily to KO them, and that's half of the prize cards. Let's see what Absol is all about. So, the Doom Period attack, if your opponent's active Pokemon has exactly 6 damage counters on it, that Pokemon is now knocked out. Thinking about the fact, if you want to one-shot something instantly, without any downside, I would recommend Frenzied Gouging of something like a Roaring Moon EX. That could be also a way you can one-shot, and that only gives up 2 prize cards. This gives up 3 prize cards, and the requirement to use Doom Period is actually quite niche. Having exactly 6 damage counters on it, how do you pull that off? The thing I'm thinking about is like, you can technically go for the Phantom Dive first, slapping 6 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, and then come in with Mega Absol, E-Switch, and a Luminous Energy. I know that seems very niche, but I don't know. This feels very, very weird because we do not have Dark Patch in the format any longer, so it's gonna be a little bit harder to pull off, and having 6 damage counters exactly on a Pokemon is not the easiest task out there. I know Munkidori, if you think about this, Munkidori could also be a thing. People were testing this out with like Blizzy EX, right? So you can have the Happy Switch going around, you transfer 3 damage counters from your side of the field to the opponent, use a Blizzy EX, transfer 3 damage counters again, and then out of nowhere you can use Doom Period to one-shot a Pokemon instantly. Not only did you heal 60 damage from yourself because you're playing Munkidori, you also one-shot a Pokemon. So that I could see a Blizzy EX Mega Absol Munkidori package working out. But if you're ever coming across a Pokemon that can one-shot you, you're gonna be history. Maybe you can pair this up with a Hero Escape to help out with that, to have more HP. And then as soon as the opponent attacks you, you can one-shot, which could be cool, right? In a world where there's 3 prize Pokemon lurking around, that could be very interesting indeed. So maybe Mega Absol will find its way right there. Munkidori's, ways to put damage on. Phantom Dive, ways to put damage on. I don't know, I don't feel like there's anything else that could do this. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else that Mega Absol could be paired with, but that's about it. Now we have the Cruel Claw, slapping 200 damage, and your opponent reveals their hand. Discard a card you find there. Very important, you can choose which card you want to discard. So imagine you go Iono to 2, oh, that is a supporter, Cruel Claw, crash, and it's gone. So you can make the opponent brick with the attack, which I believe is very, very strong. Think about Unfair Stamp going into a Cruel Claw attack, is very great indeed. The problem I see here, how do you power this up? Again, you could go for like an attachment of the turn, go to the opponent, then go for Crispin, because the attack does require a cardless energy, so that could be a way things could go okay. But yeah, Mega Absol, again, a 3-prize Pokemon, coming back with a one-shot attack with a kind of a niche requirement, allowing you to actually get those Munkidoris in play first. You can also splash this into maybe a Marnie's Grimmsnarl deck, right? You can place damage counters with the residual damage of the Marnie's Grimmsnarl and have Munkidori, and then come swinging in with a Mega Absol. But how do you get that extra energy? It's gonna have to work with Energy Switch, I believe. So Energy Switch with Marnie's Grimmsnarl or with Blizzy EX. Things are possible, but yeah, a 3-prize Pokemon, you don't want to lead with this, otherwise you will definitely lose the game. Continuing on, we're going to be talking about Mega Lucario EX, one of the poster childs for the Mega Evolution set. Note to self is we're also getting the Mega Kangaskhan, which is also on the pack arts of the brand new set, so we're going to be seeing that soon. But Mega Lucario EX is one of those Pokemon that's going to be carried by its new item card, the Premium Power Pro. During your turn, you're slapping 30 more damage to your to your opponent's active Pokemon with your fighting type Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance. So, why is this important? Because that means if there's ever a Pokemon out there, think about Mega Kangaskhan, as I was just talking about, it's gonna be weak to fighting. And because you're with your 1 energy attachment Aura Jab, you're slapping 130, that's not gonna be enough to knock it out. With the help of that Premium Pro, the Fighting Premium Pro package here, you're going to be able to slap 30 additional damage before applying weakness and resistance, meaning you can one-shot a Mega Kangaskhan EX. Very important. So this means that Aura Jab is a very strong attack. Mega Lucario EX is also a stage 1 Pokemon, so it requires evolution. You might think, Riolu evolves into Lucario and Lucario goes into the Mega Lucario EX. Well, that's where you're wrong. You're going to be immediately going into Mega Lucario EX instantly while evolving. You also don't need any Spirit Links if you've been playing back in the days with, I would say, Phantom Forces and all that stuff. You don't need Spirit Links any longer in order to evolve without losing a turn. So instantly Mega Evolution on the field. And you're slapping 130 damage for 1 energy and attach up to 3 basic fighting energy from your discard pile to your bench Pokemon in any way that you like. So it does state you can attach to any bench Pokemon, so a cardless Pokemon can also be part of the journey here where you can power some stuff up. Or, thinking out loud here, maybe you're playing Luminous Energy or whatever, and you're going to be playing it to power up an Iron Hands. It can happen. Accelerate 3 basic fighting energies from the discard pile to your bench Pokemon any way you like. That could be great. I think there's also a Pokemon out there that if you slap it down on the bench, you are going to be able to discard some of your fighting type energies. I think it's a Drillbur, correct me if I'm wrong. We're going to see if that card is still legal because I want to give you the best information around. Let's see here. Is it going to be Temporal Forces? Yeah, Temporal Forces is the card. And that's actually a Drillbur, allowing you to discard 3 basic fighting energies instantly. So if you're actually playing Mega Lucario, this Drillbur should become a one-off in your deck. Then you're going to discard those fighting energies and instantly accelerate them to any Pokemon you want. Aura Jab, providing pressure. That means you slap damage and accelerate energies. Maybe you're playing Salvatore instantly to evolve Mega Lucario in, actually Riolu into Mega Lucario on turn 1 of the game. Put up some pressure, always go second, put up some pressure and charge up an Iron Hands. That could be a thing. And because you're also powering up the Mega Lucario, maybe on the bench, could also be a thing. Mega Brave slaps 270 damage. And with the help of the Premium Power Pro, you can even one-shot Charizards or whatever. Because if you play 2 of them at the same time, you are slapping 330 damage output. Searchable, you can find them with Arven, which is awesome. And this guy is also weak to Psychic, so if Gardevoir is still huge, which I predict it will, it actually might have some trouble. But the card itself seems very strong. 1 energy, empowering your stuff up while providing pressure is very, very good. Having capabilities to one-shot Pokemon in the late game is very, very good. And I like the flexibility of accelerating the fighting energies instantly, and having access to the Drillbur makes this actually worthwhile. So that's the strategy for the Mega Lucario EX. So now we talked about 3 of them in general. Let's move on to the next 3. First of all, we're going to be talking about Mega Venusaur. That's right, Mega Venusaur EX, 380 HP, breaking the barrier of highest HP out there. Yeah, can you imagine putting a Hero Escape on this big boy? That's gonna be turning it into 480 HP. Let that sink in. In the past, people were handing out fake cards left and right, and we saw Pokemon with over 400 HP. We're getting there. We're getting there. This has a monstrous 4 retreat cost, but we do have the Heavy Balloon, pushing it down to 0 retreat, which is great. Also, it comes back with Solar Trance. We have seen abilities like this in the past. As many times as you like during your turn, you may move a basic grass energy from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. I remember like an Aromatisse back in the days of XY. I remember Kling Klang, which can also move around some energies back in the days of Black and White. So there has been Pokemon like these before, and they have always seen play. We do not have Max Potion in the format, but we are getting Wally. Why is this important? Let me enlighten you. The Wally out there is gonna heal all damage from one of your Mega Evolution Pokemon EX, and then you have to put all energies from that Pokemon back into your hand. This could be great, because imagine you combine this with the Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. This is gonna allow you, if you play Wally, to then go for Teal Dance, Teal Dance, Teal Dance again, meaning you have instant draw power because of a Wally. How amazing is that? And then the energies from the Teal Mask can go instantly back to Mega Venusaur EX because of the Solar Trance ability. Unfortunately, it does take basic grass energy, so Luminous energy and unit energy or any rainbowish energy will not work here. But the cool thing is that with Solar Trance and the Wally in the same set, you're gonna have a deck ready to go. If there's ever a format out there where one-shot Pokemon are not there, Mega Venusaur will thrive, because not only does it come back with an attack that also heals itself, so it can heal 30 damage, slapping 240 damage at one point because you're using Teal Dance to get energies into play and then transfer them to Venusaur. You will have manual attachments of the turn, so maybe Munkidori can show its face in a deck like this as well, making sure that if the opponent attacks you, you can put damage from the Munkidori, actually damage from yourself thanks to Munkidori on the opponent, use the Jungle Dump, heal 30 as well, and if you're ever in the range of getting one shot, you can heal with the Wally. Very strong indeed, but unfortunately, I have some bad news. This is a stage 2 Pokemon, meaning you will have to rely on some rare candy. Why is that good and bad at the same time? Well, rare candy, you skip the stage 1, but the problem is if you will be item locked through the means of Budu, through the means of Jellicent EX, you might be not able to get into Mega Venusaur, although there's still TM Evolution that can get you there. This seems interesting for sure. Not a lot of fire types in the game as mentioned here. Maybe you see some sort of which is it again, the Armor Rouge decks with Ho-Oh EX. Sometimes you might see an Eaton's Typhlosion, but for the rest, there's not too many fire type Pokemon that can bother you at the top tables. So yeah, Mega Venusaur EX, being weak to fire, 4 treat costs, we can handle with that, but with Hero Escape, this turns into the highest HP in the game, which can definitely be good. Also comes back with a very, very strong ability and healing capabilities. Continuing on, there's 2 more Mega Evolutions we're going to talk about here. Let's talk about Mega Latias EX. First, your Dragon-type basic Pokemon. So if you start with this, you have 280 HP. How crazy is that? On the other hand, you also come back with a 1 retreat cost, so being trapped in the active position is not going to be a thing for this card. And the cool thing is Mirage Pulse attack slaps 300 damage. And you might think, how do we pair this? Do we use something like Crispin? How will this work? And that's where the Latios, same set by the way, will help it out. Once during your turn, when your Mega Latias EX moves from the bench to the active spot, you may move any number of energy from your bench Pokemon to the active Pokemon. So how good is this? You can, of course, combine with Latias EX, you will have free retreat with all your basic Pokemon. Maybe you're playing Beach Court, it could also be a thing to have free retreat. Maybe your air balloons can work left and right, but the main thing is clear, getting this in the active position will be quite easy. Imagine you're playing Eaton's Ho-Oh EX. You're going to be able to accelerate 2 fire energies instantly from your hand to the Eaton's Typhlosion, and then you fly yourself into the active position, which is gonna help Mega Latias EX attack with Mirage Pulse on the very first turn, going second, slapping 300 damage. If you don't want to use the 300 damage output, you can also use the Strafe attack to knock out a Budu or whatever, but 300 damage output, kinda crazy. Will you be able to do it back to back? Who knows? It all comes down to how many copies of Physical Switch you play, because with Superior Energy Retrieval, you can get your energies back, and you can get them back on the Eaton's Ho-Oh EX, but then you will need to find a Psychic Energy or Luminous Energy, anything that works, and fly yourself back into the active position. So you will need to have some copies of Switch in your deck in order to make use. You can go back-to-back 300 damage output. So Latios and Mega Latias EX working together. Note to self, Dragon-type Pokemon do not have any weakness, but Dragon-type Pokemon are still popular. Think about Dragapult EX, think about Raging Bolt EX. They are still very popular decks, tier 1 decks in the format, meaning that people will still play Lily's Clefairy EX, meaning that your weakness, your 0 weakness becomes a weakness to Psychic-type Pokemon, and then you're gonna get one-shot and give up 3 prize cards, and that's where I see it not working out. We're also not in a format where we're in a big basic format. If you were in a big basic format, the Mega Latias EX deck would thrive. Imagine you are up against a deck only playing 2 prize Pokemon. I'm thinking about like a Mawile, Iron Hands, and all that stuff that only plays 2 prize Pokemon. You can just play an Iron Bundle, push out some Magnemites or Dynamos down the side, and then take the 2 prize Pokemon time and time again and end with a Blood Moon. So maybe Latias EX could find its way there, but in a format where there's still a lot of stage 2 Pokemon out there, you might have to run Gravity Mountain as well to, of course, get the number necessary to one-shot. Otherwise, you will just be a little bit lackluster. But Mega Latias, another Mega Pokemon out there. And then the last one we're going to talk about is Mega Gardevoir EX because, of course, Gardevoir still doesn't have enough support as it is. Gardevoir EX, paired up with Drifloon, paired up with Screamtails, paired up with a bunch of Munkidori. It is undisputedly one of the best decks we have seen in the modern era of the Pokemon TCG because of its versatility. Even with the loss of refinement, it is still doing crazy things. Now we gain Mega Gardevoir EX. What is the great thing about having a Mega Pokemon that is a stage 2? You cannot start with it, meaning you can just have it in your deck as a one-off, and when the time is right, you can evolve. Not only do you get rid of the weak HP of Lucario, you turn yourself into a 360 HP late game sweeper, because Mega Symphonia slaps 50 damage for each Psychic Energy attached to all of your Pokemon. Yeah, let that sink in. Typically Gardevoir decks that are playing like 6 or 7 Psychic type energies. Imagine 4 of them being accelerated to your field. You're already slapping 200 damage without any effort. You can push that damage up a little bit further with Munkidoris, you know that. But imagine you have 6 of them. You're slapping 300 damage with ease, without a downside. Even using Munkidoris as well. Like, Gardevoir, what is the issue? Pokemon keeps giving Gardevoir all the tools it needs. We even get Mystery Garden, which allows you to discard an energy from hand in order to draw cards, as many as you have Psychic-type Pokemon in play. Like, for real. Pokemon really loves Gardevoir, and this is an additional tool, a Mega Pokemon out there as well. Resistance to fighting, so even though we do get one of the most powerful items in the next set, Premium Power Pro, yeah, note to self, I also didn't talk about Hariyama right there, which can really help with Gusting Effect and slap a lot of damage, so that can help the Mega Lucario deck as well. But yeah, this was a very strong card. But yeah, everything will have weakness to Psychic with these fighting type Pokemon, meaning that Mega Gardevoir will brace through them even if they have a lot of HP. We have resistance, we slap a lot of damage. Gardevoir is not showing any signs of slowing down. Also with the overflowing wishes, if it doesn't have wishes enough, for each of your bench Pokemon, search your deck for a basic Psychic Energy and attach it to that Pokemon. You probably will never use that attack because you're combining it with Gardevoir EX, meaning you want the energies in the discard pile, not on your field. But yeah, Mega Gardevoir EX, this definitely will see play as a one-off in Gardevoir for sure. Some people will drop it, not play it, other people will try it out. And if that wasn't enough, all the Mega Pokemon out there can get out the deck quite easily because of the Mega Signal. Search your deck for one Mega Pokemon EX and put it in the hand. So Mega Pokemon seemingly are going to be ruling the format very shortly. So how do you feel about the Mega Pokemon that we just reviewed today? If you enjoyed the video, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out in many ways. And let me know what your favorite new Mega Pokemon will be. There's still a couple of them that have not been revealed yet, but yeah, I want to know your favorite right now. For me personally, I'll try out Mega Mawile and Archaludon. Seems like a great thing. Archaludon sometimes is lackluster with its damage output, and Mega Mawile can really help out with that. Maybe we can also try out a very funky Blizzy Mega Absol deck at one point on the channel. Mega Lucario seems nice because it's like the fighting power. Aggression is the best defense, right? Offense is the best defense. That's what I'm always saying, but here, in that situation, being weak to Psychic might slow it down. This is also very cool, a very tanky Pokemon, but with Gardevoir and Raging Bolt in the format. Don't know how to feel about it, but yeah, had a blast talking about these Mega Pokemon. Also, go check out the sponsors. They make the content possible on the channel right now. Level up your game with TCG Evolutions. Breathtaking damage counters, special condition tokens, and ability markers. Precision, style, power. Use coupon ZapdosTCG for 10% off only at TC Evolutions. Also go check out dragonshield.com. They are the best brand to protect your beautiful cards. They have sleeves, binders, and deck boxes. You can get 5% off on everything on their website using the coupon ZapDos5. BoattownStore.com for TCG Live code card users. You can of course get TCG Live codes quite easily, instant email delivery, and you can get 5% off as well using the coupon ZapDosTCG. Lastly, cardmarket.com for European players where you're able to buy as well as sell cards to people all across Europe. You can use the referral name ZapdosTCG to help support the channel. Thank you all very much for watching today's upload. I will see you guys soon with more Pokemon TCG content. I cannot wait for Thursday where Black Bolt and White Flare will become legal on the TCG Live program. So we're going to be playing a lot of these decks because I'm preparing for the Pokemon TCG World Championships in Anaheim, California. Have yourself a good one. I will see you guys soon with more Pokemon TCG content. Peace.